All right, people. A little different, little podcast change up here today. We got Billy. We just finished the RS, so Chris gets the afternoon off. He's probably sad. Sorry about that, Chris.
Sorry, Chris.
Billy's bumping you for the podcast. So we just put in a whirlwind couple of days. See, for Billy, this was an easy one, right? Normally, for me, this is a big deal. So you do this crap every day.
It's the normal thing.
Yeah. I did all the work for you, all the hard work,
Yeah.
getting all the PPF off. My fingers are all jacked up. But I got refreshed. Went home, went to bed at like 9 o'clock, got up at 6:50 and was ready to roll today. Got the wheels coated. I'm pumped we got the wheels on. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got
Looks
the
good.
S21 RS, which is a Tag Motorsports collaboration with Vossen, and so Vossen makes them specifically for Tag. That's the only place you can get them through, and so they had a set of satin black in stock. I've been waiting for them for a while, and I said let's do it, and I think they're pretty legit. They look good. They look good. Yeah, it looks good to get rid of that darn green stripe.
That too.
So we had a chance to, and talking about product for this, we had a chance to play with the new Flex stuff. That literally, so you came Thursday morning, it showed up Wednesday at like 5 p.m. And then I unboxed it that night. I deconned the car prior to you coming. I'm glad we did, so that way we could have some time to do this.
Yeah, I was a little bummed at first that you got a head start on us.
But then
it worked out.
Yeah. So when we first grabbed certainly we're neither one of us are force rotation guys, right? So force rotation is not something I was super excited about. I use it on the roof. I'm sure you could get used to using it. And those of you who've been using force rotation type, gear driven random orbitals for a long time, are used to it. But the DA, I hated it. Neither one of us liked it at first, but then you did pretty much the whole car with that thing. So what do you think?
Yeah, it felt like slow. Like it felt like a Rupes on like speed 3 maybe. So I didn't think it would be powerful enough, or that it was actually doing much. But then as I kept using it and kind of just forced myself to use it since we were here and play with some new stuff, and ended up liking it a lot actually. Seems to cut just as good as
getting rid of the wires.
Else. Yeah, that's nice.
At first it's weird, right? Because you have that balance of the cord.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought the battery would be like kind of clunky and in the way. Ended up being kind of nice. You can actually hold the battery, and it feels like normal once you're actually using it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good tool.
I should probably introduce you. I mean, for those, I think everybody knows, but my friend Billy from he has a company where he concentrates. You do a lot of like new car prep and a lot of Porsche, Ferrari, being a lot of high end cars in Tampa. And you guys have a really unique business, and we'll get into that a little bit. But you have a unique business in that you own the paint correction and coating part of the business, and then you have pseudo like connected partners, but everybody owns their own business, and then you kind of collaborate together. Which, well, since we're talking about it, I might as well explain that. So tell us a little bit about how you guys have organized the structure of the business versus typically one guy tries to own it, and then you try to have partners, and that gets tricky.
Well, we all kind of have been doing our own thing for a long time, all kind of in that higher end, the higher, I don't want to say clientele, but the level of work, I guess. So like Ryan's been doing PPF for 20 plus years. Michael's been doing dents for 20 plus years. I started back in 2007, and I always started with paint correction. Like that was just my thing. So I built that up over time. Me and Ryan kind of crossed paths just because I was starting to get into cars that had PPF on them, and I didn't know how to deal with it, or if I could polish it, or if what I could do with it basically. So I somehow found Ryan because he's pretty much the only guy doing it back then. You didn't have all these people.
Yeah.
In general, like their PPF wasn't like a big thing. It was all mostly like at the dealership level.
Yeah.
Just 3M crap.
So
I found him. We started talking. He would give me some guidance on, how to deal with the film and on these cars that I was working on. And then we didn't really like talk a whole lot. And then one day I reached out to him. I was not detailing full time at the point, and I I was kind of thinking about it because I was filling up all my weekends on top of my full-time job.
So you were writing articles and stuff on the forums.
Yeah.
And then doing cars on the weekends in Ocala and driving down to...
Just driving everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like down to South Florida, anywhere someone would hire me, basically. But I was working 40 hours a week, and then on the weekends I was, you know how long it takes to do all these cars.
Sure.
So I started asking Ryan. I was like, hey, do you have any extra space? And he's like, well, we're actually moving into this new building that's a little bit bigger, and I might have a spot for you. And then that ended up working out. And I came down there. It was kind of just a trial thing. And me and Ryan mesh really well. We're kind of the same personality.
Yeah.
Which usually I guess that doesn't work, but for some reason we work really well.
It helps that he's in another building.
Yeah, well, we were all in the front building.
Oh,
Me,
okay. Yeah.
Mike, our tinter, everybody was all in that front building, so we were on top of each other. For like 2 years, I think we did that, and just kind of took off from that point. Once we teamed up, everything just kind of blew up, and then.
But you have 3 separate companies under one roof, right?
So
you have Presidential, Auto
right.
Paint Guard, and the Dent Company, all
Yeah.
you know, that now share a grouping of buildings. Well, there's 2 buildings, right? The front
There's 2
and back.
buildings, yeah.
Yeah, so you and Michael are in the back building, and then
Which is separate. Well, me and Michael were in one unit together for about a year, and then we decided that because we used the other side of our building to store cars.
Yeah.
Then we both were getting so big and busy that we decided we could use the extra space, and it works out really well. But yeah, so having it all separate allows us each to focus and hone in on our own craft instead of like me trying to own PDR or PPF, and I really don't know anything about it when it comes to the technical level like I do with polishing or detailing. Well,
when I came down there when we did Adam LZ's car, and you know, I didn't really want to build a detailing company like an obsessed garage company, but it's something that seems, you know, at even from my vantage point, but from anybody's vantage point, is like, well, I have the client base,
right?
So I could turn it on, but you know, the probability and the time that it would take for me to develop, you know, a world-class team, it's just not something I'm interested in. And you know, and then what you do is not as scalable as what I do, and so it's better for me to just have friends like you to say, look, go to those guys and let them do it, because it would take so much time and energy for me to try to build a team, because most of you guys that are really good, you wouldn't want to work for somebody anyway, you know.
Yeah, there's not enough freedom there to do your thing, I guess.
Yeah.
For most.
Yeah, so you know, spending that week down there solidified it for me. I said, this is not for me. You know, I don't want to build a detailing business. The main advantage of it would have been for product testing. You know, to be able me to get in there and have like a, you know, but I could just hire somebody to test products. You know, if I needed to.
Better scenario to test products than even we would be.
Yeah, because
we're in a, you know, we're under pressure. So you don't
yeah, for
have
you
time
to
to
right
play around.
for you to play around and make a change.
Right.
You know, may not be as practical.
Yeah, typically not.
So with my car, just to cue everybody in, what we're doing with this process is part of it is my time and your time, right? So I was either going to I was going to come down there and spend a whole week, which would disrupt you guys and your whole process. And so we came up with this idea of why don't I get the car corrected and send it to you? And you're like, well, why don't I come up and help you? I think I know why you did that. So we came up with this concept of I'll just send the car down, and then to watch the rest of the video series, you can go to Billy's channel, which you started a few months ago.
Yep.
And so you'll document the Auto Paint Guard PPF install, which we've convinced Ryan to help us try out some S-Tech Dyno Shield.
Yeah.
So he's going to do that for us.
Sell.
Right.
He doesn't like change either, and especially on a full car.
Yeah, so we're doing a full car, but I'm not going to be there watching over them. You'll be there with the camera, you know, capturing the process.
Yep.
So episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish will be on Obsessed Garage channel, and then 6, 7, 8, or whatever's necessary to do S-Tech Dyna Shield. We're going to top it with Halo And then do we do Halo Exo or just Halo?
Probably 2 coats of Halo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Halo will layer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Halo's G-Technic's new PPF, newer PPF film, because we're pretty sure that the CSU, CSL really won't bond or adhere to the S-Tech top coat.
Yeah, I think we've tried it before. It's been a while ago, but I think we did try it, and it hazes up.
Keep it tight. Oh yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, it tends to haze up on us.
Got it.
So causes a lot of issues.
So then we'll ship it back to me, and so we can't drive it down there because then you'd have to do like a whole bunch of work to get it, get it ready. And so what I want to do was ship it in an enclosed trailer, get it there, and then I don't have to spend a week. I don't have to disrupt their process. It's just a win-win for everybody. And then hopefully you guys go subscribe to Billy's channel so that he can kind of show you what he does down there. So that's the plan. The RS corrected out pretty well. I mean, the getting the letters off the back of the the rear deck, or the rear spoiler was a nightmare, and so it was all scratched up as well as etched from the from the lettering.
Like almost, I don't even know the word for it. You could see the letters even after we polished it.
Yeah, it's like shadowed, like the letters were like from certain angles you could see.
It's swelled, basically.
Yeah,
it's permanently swelled.
So I was, but the crisis is averted, is that I don't have to do a new $10,000 wing.
No, not at all. Took us a few tries to figure out something that would work on it, but we got it.
So let's see. Mark Krause asks about tire dressing. We should have it, and what I'll probably do is 330 gallons of dressing, and we'll probably move through that, let it marinate in the world, see what people think of it, and people will figure out every way to screw it up possible, and we'll see if it's a long-term viable product. Let's see, anything else going on here? Everybody says go Billy.
Go me.
Billy, do you sell your detailing shirts with the non-polo ones?
I don't, but I can get them.
Yeah, just email them. What's your email?
You can do sales@presidentialdetailing.net.
There you go. What's the best compound to use by hand? None?
I like fast cream, but
yeah,
like
Griot's fast correcting cream.
It's not super gritty, so when you use it by hand, it's not going to leave like gouges.
Mm-hmm.
If you use a compound that's too aggressive, you'll sometimes find that it makes it worse.
And when are you doing stuff by hand, like behind door handles?
Door handles, if it's like a kind of a little nook or something that you can't get into with any machines. It's not usually a lot. Like on the Porsche I just did on the video I just released, there's like the whole underside of the hood had some it wouldn't just clean up with anything, so I had to scrub it a little bit with a compound to clean it up.
How much correcting can you do? You're just using a microfiber towel, putting it on there. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean it's not a lot. I mean you can't like expect totally the same result as if you were using a machine on the rest of the paint, but you can get it to where it's not gonna. Mostly you're looking for like oxidation, or you want the look of the car to be the same in the gloss, and obviously get those scratches out the best you can.
But I mean, I recall wiping some polish on back in the day, but I don't think I've ever, I didn't know what a polish was, right? I thought you'd put the polish on and get it off, right? But I don't recall ever polishing by hand, but they used to back in the day. Have you ever done that? Have you ever polished a whole car by hand?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
when I was like 15, we were using like the little orbitals.
Yeah, a little 3 millimeter wax spreader thing. Yeah. It's just
with a big like a terry towel.
Yeah. Same time. I had the same thing in like 2000. I had one of those for my Civic that I now have again. I'd wax spread it, do that. My buddy showed it to me. He's like, this is so much easier, because my friend Alex, he was so lazy. He was always trying to find the simplest way to do things. And so he had this little Black & Decker wax spreader that, of course, you kept like the cardboard box. That was how you stored it in like the original box.
Yeah.
But like the tops folded in.
Yep.
And the wire all coiled up.
The wax all just dried up on the pad from the last time you used it.
Yep.
Get it wet again. It'll be good.
Let's see. Jeremy Nelson's asking, I just purchased a 2015 Cayenne S. Have you ever considered a Cayenne? What do you think about Cayennes? You do some of them, right?
I think they're pretty awesome. The Macan's probably more my style, just because it's a smaller, feels more like a car.
So you want
But it's not very
like a mom
practical either.
car on stilts? I pose that a Macan should not exist.
Yeah. It's
What's
like
the,
a little.
what's the point?
There really isn't one.
Right, it's just a taller car. There's no more room.
Yeah. I guess you can go off road with your 911. I guess that's the mentality.
Not really. Because, I mean, they've got little low profile, 20, 21s on the thing.
Yeah, well, they've evolved to that. So basically, people have just made them into.
Yeah, I just, like the X3 and X3M and the Macan. I'm like, well, I don't want to just get a car.
Yeah, I mean, the way you use it is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You got maybe a little more trunk space.
It's like a car on stilts. It's like a worse handling car. I just wish Porsche would make like a real sedan.
Yeah.
Like if they made like an M5-like sedan.
Like the Panamera. Or you just don't want the wagon.
It's hideous.
Wagon look?
I'm fine with the wagon, but that thing is hideous. They just made it look good. I mean, I love the interior and the handling and all that stuff is fantastic, but my gosh, it's so freaking ugly.
What is it, the Grand Coupe, or I forget what they call it. It's like the one they cut off the back a little bit.
Yeah, that's stupid. I just want to sit like a regular sedan, or make an Avant like a real true hatchback. That's like not so weird looking like the darn.
Not so round.
Yeah, too round.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'd buy like a new one every 2 years. I'd just get a 24-month lease and just get a new one. Be awesome. So stupid. All right. They want to know how old you are because everybody thinks you're like 12.
I'm 14. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 34.
Yeah. So
baby face though.
Yeah. Billy's got a wife, 2 kids, a house, and he's a grown-up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Let's see here. Social distancing. Get out of here, loser. Let's see. Oh, we got some super chats here. Let's see. I don't know what Dallas is. Not super Griotti. I don't know what he's talking about. Camry graphic update. I don't know. Bryce. Maybe Bryce can chime in here. Where's our Camry? We on the last podcast or the last live stream, I posed a challenge. I said if they raise $500 in super chat, God dang it, I need to make these numbers bigger. Quick. I'm like, there's no way. It's just,
$500 went.
Because I don't think before I speak. I just most of the time, especially when I'm live, I'm just talking. And so So now we're gonna have a freaking Camry. It'll probably be the #1 seller. And we're not doing that as part of the giveaway. Let's see. I'm interested in your take on this. So Max Shine Pro 15 or Griot's Garage G9. What's your take on Max Shine? We know mine.
What's the Max Shine?
It's that Chinese knockoff bullcrap.
Nah, I probably haven't used it.
Versus have you touched the Griot's G9?
I haven't had. Is that like their polisher?
It's the new entry level polisher. Yeah.
I haven't played with them. I pretty much stick to Rupes, and then before that it was I was like the McGuire's G110s. And I think I did have one Griot's machine like that was equivalent to that, but ever since then it was just straight to the Rupes. But the Flex stuff might be the next thing though. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's the big question I have for me is I'm a huge Rupes fan. I love the smoothness. The machines are fantastic. But is there, like we were questioning, is the Flex 3-inch a little better? They're close, but is it a little better?
The 3-inch felt better. Like it didn't seem to stall out. It kept spinning when you would take it around like edges and things.
And so we also talked about that. Rupes has such a disadvantage from a battery perspective in that Chervon owns Flex. Chervon is the second biggest battery manufacturer in the world, from what I understand, behind TTI. And so they have such a huge leg up. I don't think Rupes owns any battery. Companies are probably buying stuff for the Nano. Mm-hmm. So does it make sense to, I think it probably will, to hybrid. It's been on my list for a really long time. And then when they, so Flex was so heavy on forced rotation and rotary for the longest time, which I didn't really have much of an interest. And so their DAs always seemed like an afterthought. Well, now, they have, battery technology, and the DA, it seems, we just talked about it, seems pretty good. And so
I'm curious to see how it does in a professional environment. Like
beating on it every day. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how it does in a non-professional environment.
I think it'll be good for the weekend guy.
Yeah. Certainly, battery life is not an issue.
No,
at all.
We went through. I think I used maybe 2 batteries to correct like the whole hood, the whole driver's side of the car, the roof, the half of the roof. So really they lasted a lot longer. I did have to. You have to be careful because the battery degrades so slowly that you start losing power, but you don't realize it because it's so slow. So I was like going through the door and I was like, man, this thing feels like it's just not working anymore. And then I put a new battery in it. And I was like, what? It's like,
yeah.
okay.
So there's no like turn off. It's
it doesn't like go full power until it's dead. It
Yeah.
slowly degrades, but it still lasts quite a long time.
Tyler, another super chat says, having a hard time finding a set of Pilot Sport 4S's. Everywhere is out of stock and backordered until July. What other tire would you recommend? Pilot Sport 4S is kind of the standard. You can do a Bridgestone Potenza RE701R. A lot of it depends on the sizing you need, on what the best tire
what the car is.
Yeah.
If it's like a Porsche or just a regular 911 or a BMW or something, that's
right.
You wouldn't want to put an RE71R on that.
Exactly. Yeah, or Pirellis are going to cater to to Ferraris and stuff like that. But I think we need to know a little bit more, Tyler, what car you're putting it on. That would help us. Another super chat, Dallas says, would you rather drive behind an RX-7 for an hour or wash your hands after going to the bathroom for a month? I think I'd choose the RX-7, driving behind it. I'm trying to stay organized here. All right, so we talked about the Grio's G9 versus the other. Where was that? I just sold my old Flex Polisher. Social distancing is for babies.
Let's get back to work.
Yeah, it's freaking go to work. How can I get in touch with you, Brad Bacon? B. Bacon. Brad is the guy who takes care of making me extra monies on the website and making it legit. He's helped, revamp our site and helped helped immensely with the OG brand and helping get our name out there, inorganically. So with the inorganics, getting ready to polish my Accord. This is from Richard Witt. It has plastic, chrome, and gloss black plastic pieces. Is it okay to polish those with a DA, or should I tape them off?
Generally you can polish on them. It just depends. Like some cars they don't like it, but
I would
use. If it has like a sharp edge.
Try using a finishing polish.
Sometimes you'll have moldings where they go into the body real clean, and you can just polish right on them. And then you have some cars where the trim edge is really sharp. So if you bump into it, it's going to strip the paint right off. So you have to tape that off. So really kind of car dependent.
Be careful with that.
Yeah.
But generally
Chrome,
you can.
Yeah,
it's just I wouldn't hit it with a microfiber and heavy compound. Usually just finish polish. Those are usually so soft and will polished right out. Dallas is making me rich here. Another $6.99 Canadian. Does OG offer visa assistance for out-of-country applicants? Asking for a friend. I was thinking about that the other day. Obviously, from the way I understand it, is if you're going to hire someone internationally, that you have to be able to prove that there was no one else in the U.S. that could fill that position, and so you would have to be able to prove that. And then I don't know if there's some sort of you'd have an international attorney to help with the paperwork to get a work visa, because I had several applicants that I guarantee would come here and freaking kill it.
It's not good enough for you to just say I like this person better than that person.
I don't think so. Not for and not if you're going to bring in somebody to the country and get a work visa and all of that. I think you have to. Again, I'm not an expert, so I think you have to have a reasoning behind it. Let's see. In my future plans, going to strip wax off tonight and start a new process of applying new. I'm using McGuire's Ultimate Compound, but I know better. Trying to step up my game. I don't know what he's asking, but he's talking about stripping off the wax at night, and then I guess maybe tomorrow he would start fresh. I don't think I've ever used McGuire's Ultimate Compound. Did you ever use that back in the day? It's like just their consumer version
of 105, right? Basically.
I don't think it's exactly the same, but some similar formula. So with a DA and some decent pads, it could work. See why not.
On a softer car.
Yeah, it's probably not great to work with, but
yeah, and they usually don't sell it in large bottles. I don't think either.
I mean, polish is so inexpensive that I'd be inclined to just, shoot, you could probably, ask somebody to borrow like their bottle of polish or something if you're hurting for cash.
And like Advance and all that, they sell 105, 205, all that stuff now too, and that's usually a pretty solid combo.
But you have to remember that for some people, to spend $200 to get what they need is not in the. This is me. I'm saying this so that I understand.
I used to be
this.
that guy. So.
Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
I was that guy too. We've all been there, and so, I mean, a lot of times I'd be inclined to just say, "Don't do it," versus doing it the crappy way. And I'm telling you, if you
clay it and put a sealant on it.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Unless
it did for
really
the whole life. Yeah, instead of trying to use inferior stuff that isn't going to really, it may make it worse than
you can
better.
Swirl it up pretty good.
So like using a rotary or a wax spreader and the wrong kind of polish is just not a good idea. Let's see. Paul Rhodes says subscribe to Billy's channel. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thanks.
Thoughts on the Golf R? You ever driven one?
I did drive one, not very far. I like the Golf. It's a nice little car. The only thing I don't like is they're not aggressive enough for me. I owned a Type R, so I'm on the total opposite end of the spectrum there. So, but I do really like the Golf. I like the GTI too.
Yeah,
it's a good looking car. I just wish the R had maybe more of the flares like the old R32 did, something like that.
I like V-dubs. I think that just the fit and finish, the build quality is for me. Growing up with the Honda, the V-dubs. Let's say if a Honda was 18 grand, well, a V-dub was like 22 or 24 or 26. Like a Golf back in the day. It's just it priced me out a little bit. But I always loved them because they were great system cars. They were put together better, and so they didn't rattle as much. And then hatches were always my favorite thing, even though I've never had one. All right, let's see. Hi from the UK. Recently had my OG spec Mosmatic sprayer. First of many orders I will place. You definitely converted me. Thanks, man. Yeah, whatever you do, don't fall for the Mosmatic UK that they were using my name like as if they were selling my my version, and it wasn't even the same freaking thing. They can't even. They're so stupid they can't even copy it right. Like I've shown everybody how to do it, and they had some janky version of it. Let's see, Porsche Cayenne Turbo. We never really talked about the Cayenne, but I like the Cayenne. I would like one. Nice. I'd like one for Michelle, but it's just too nice. It's going to be $100 and something $1,000, and she's going to.
They're spendy.
It's not that she will mess it up; it's the kids will mess it up. So she'd like me saying that better than her messing it up. Would you ever do anything in a diesel? I'm not really a diesel kind of guy. So what kind of cars does Billy have?
Currently, I don't have anything too exciting, except for I have a 91 Civic Si. That's basically a track car. It's K-Series and 245s, 10-inch wide wheels in the front of it. So that's kind of my baby. I've owned that car the longest. And then right now I'm driving a Honda Fit. That have just kind of put some suspension.
Well, you sold the Civic and
I sold my Type R.
You're chasing. You just bought a beautiful house, and so you're doing. I did the same thing. Bought my house. I sold my S2000. Bought an R. It won't be long. You'll be buying something else, but
hopefully by the end of the year, I might get another Type R because I really liked it.
Okay, let's see, Billy. Would you own, or would you buy a 2020 M2 Competition?
Personally, I wouldn't. I like the car. I wouldn't buy it. It doesn't fit me.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I like the M2, but not the Competition, because it's a fart machine. Let's see. Where we had here. How's the giveaway coming out? Made a huge profit. Chris normally has the numbers for me. I think. Let me see if I can look it up here. I don't know how up to date it is, but we have. We're certainly in the profit. I'm glad I didn't. Sell the car for $50,000 or something ridiculous like I did with the other one with the Corvette. But I think I profited enough to overcome. Once I saw where the M5 giveaway was at, I think I profited enough to go ahead and resume or assume the cost of both. So let's see where we're at here, Chris. Let's see where we updated it. No, this isn't the right spreadsheet. Anyway, I think I'm probably 50K to the good. So $150,000 or so in profit, which I have $100,000 into the car, and so $150,000 in profitability on the products sold, net the car at say 100K. So I think we're probably, and today's the last day, so go in and spend lots of money and get it, push it over the edge. But when I saw where the M5 was at, I was hoping that we'd be able to recover both cars, and I think we're good. So if these projects that I do, this is why people get all bent out of shape. I spare no expense. I do exactly what I would want to do, whether I'm going to give it away or sell it. Sometimes I lose, sometimes I win, but from a net, it's something that I would probably do with or without the channel. But I'll go way further into territory. Like I wouldn't have gone into Corvette territory without the channel. I would have wanted to, but I would have never done it.
Push.
Yeah, I would have stayed focused in on the cars that I really wanted. And so the channel has afforded me to kind of broaden my horizons a little bit and make mistakes. So Tasty Hamburgers asks, Rotary polish recommendation. Love the channel. You know more about Rotary than I do. You use the same polish.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, use your same. I like Jescar. Billy likes Creo's, what's it called? Fast correction cream. Yeah. So you would probably
change up the pad if you want to change up.
Yeah, you'd probably use the same stuff. All right. What kind of cars? M2 competition. Billy probably drives a Tacoma or some truck. $100. MW F80. Just $100.
Free money.
That's not for you. That's for me.
Ah, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. It's nice when people. I understand what he's doing. That he just appreciates the content, and so he's just paying it forward. I appreciate that. Anybody who does that. Let's see what's up. Nice work from Ozzy. Would it be possible to use a rotary to heat up gel on the carbon wing to help get rid of the swelling from the Porsche letters? That's basically what we did. Now the question is, will they come back?
Typically cooler. So.
Yeah, so we used, actually used wool, which is cooler than microfiber, but that's kind of what worked.
Yeah,
was beaten on it.
Yeah, we had to go pretty hard on it. I didn't think it was. I thought we were gonna have to sand it.
Yeah, me
when
too.
we first looked at it, but
why don't you try Hilti cordless tools? You'll love them. Yeah, maybe. I don't know who makes Hilti. Isn't Hilti TTI? Do any tool manufacturers besides Panasonic actually produce their own rechargeable batteries? I thought, Richard Wood is saying Bosch, Milwaukee, Hitachi use Samsung INR cells. DeWalt used to be Sanyo cells. Hey, I'm not an expert. I'm sure we'll learn more about that if we get into the Milwaukee territory. Oh, here's another super chat, $10. Jeff McConnell asks, Don't know how you apply decals, but have you used Rapid Tack? They have a positioning fluid, also have an adhesive remover that may have helped on your wing. Yeah. I really didn't expect that stuff to stick like it did. I expected to just be able to steam it off and it would come right off. Well, so I need
did it break off in like pieces? Or did
some of it would have if I hadn't steamed it.
Yeah.
But even then, it was pulling the vinyl and leaving all the adhesive. So there was that thick,
basically the sticker was still there.
Yeah,
the whole thing,
yeah. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. Thanks, Jeff. We'll have to check out something like that. Rapid Tack. Another person suggested another product I have on hand. Rapid Remover, I think it's called.
We use that. That's what Ryan uses at the shop.
Yeah.
For removing PCF.
We should probably get that. Let's see. I tried to install Geon can coat onto my father's BMW GS plastics, and it doesn't seem to take, even after Eraser and Meguiar's heavy-duty vinyl cleaner. Any tips from Billy? Have you ever used can coat?
I have not, but generally what does it mean that it's not working?
Well, it probably just doesn't look
off?
satin and nice and finished.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but not all coatings do great on trim.
Right.
It's like if you use a lot of the silicon dioxide spray stuff, like I don't think like Meguiar's, what is that stuff, the HCW, what is that stuff called there? All the spray-ons, water-activated sealants, I don't think many of them work very well on trim.
Yeah, I don't like sprays on trim because it's too.
Yeah.
You get it on the windows and the glass.
Bead Maker does pretty well on trim. If you.
Yeah, it's not going to change the look though.
Yeah, not really. No.
Most coatings won't change the look a whole lot.
I'll confirm with Jeff from Gion, but I don't think that Ken Coat does very well on trim. Most of the coating that we're putting on trim is just trial and error. You just tried it.
Yeah,
it worked.
Right, you're coating the paint, so you're just like,
let's see what happens. Right.
Figure it out, and then you figure it out. And
hey guys, what is your final view on Kamikaze ISM or Zip-Hang after you used it and saw it on a car? Have you ever used the Kamikaze stuff? Yeah, see, I really like it. I haven't used Zip-Hang. Kamikaze is an Esoteric exclusive. They import it and have a relationship with Kai, the creator of it, and it's great. It looks fantastic. It's a little tackier. That's why I like G-Technics so much. That's why I made the transition. I was just going to not, if I wasn't going to be allowed to sell the coating, I just wasn't going to do a coating. And then I think it was you probably said, look, you got to try this crap. And
yeah, the thing I like, that's why I switched to G-Technic too, is it's like, I don't want to say it's wipe on, wipe off. I mean, it is, but there's little nuances to it that can get you in trouble. But once you figure those out,
but you run your hand across the back. It's just
it's smooth, so smooth.
What were you using before?
C-Quartz.
Yeah. Let's see.
And I've tried Fine Lab as well. That was a interesting coating. We tried the Self Heal Plus. Super thick. I mean, you could tell like there's a coating like visually on the car. But it was kind of just the process to put it on. I mean, it was like a full day just putting one.
Right. So you weigh the pros and cons of that. As how much better is it? Does it feel? Does it look? Does it last? For Modesta and all these that have these special procedures, IR curing and all of that.
Business around it. I mean, you really have to change a lot. So, G-Technic works for how our business model is as far as how you need to do the cars and the logistics of me working with Ryan. So we got to polish the car, take it to PPF, and then get it back, polish the rest of the car, and all the deliveries and overlapping cars.
You need something that fits that
model.
If
you're only doing like one car, or 2 cars in a week or something like that, you can pretty much go with anything. But when you start, unless you have a big team, it's only me and Gabe, so
right.
I don't have at first we didn't even have the space to like set a car to the side and let it like cure and wait and start on the next car. So G-Technic kind of let us push to the next envelope.
Let's see. Do you have a job listed for a certain amount of time? Let's see. You have to have the job listed for a certain amount of time and claim to have no qualified applicants. I don't know what he's talking about.
The visa thing.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. You have to have the job listed for a certain amount of time and claim to have found no applicants. That's what Matt Duffy is saying about. Good call. I'm like, what are you talking about? Get out of here. I was getting ready to fight him. Sorry, Matt. Yeah, that makes sense. When are the prior 1.5s back in stock? I think they're inbound. Prior is, I think, producing. What do you guys think of the Miyabi ISM compared to CSL EXO? We just talked about that. Wife's black Kia Optima daily driver. What compound polish pad combo would you recommend? He and I are always going to go back to the base process, right? The base process, the base product, see what happens.
Yep.
And then you'll have maybe 2 or 3 other things in the cabinet.
Generally, people are taught to start less aggressive.
Right.
But as you move on and get into professional, I just already know what to go for.
Yep.
It's probably going to be like your Jess car correction.
Yeah, even I mean, I've done enough cars to kind of have a real good solid base idea. Okay, this is what I'm going to just look at it, inspect it. I kind of know what I'm going to need to do, what I'm going to need to use on it. Let's see. Considering a 981 GT4 of my first Porsche, what's your take on reliability and options you should look or stay away from? Reliability.
It's a pretty solid car.
There
There's
isn't
nothing bad
any,
about it.
Yeah, they don't have any like known issues or these nagging issues.
I don't think I've ever heard a complaint.
No, the GT cars are well vetted and warranties stand behind the warranty on those things.
Yep. Even when you track them.
Yeah. So I mean, with the GT4, it really comes down to you want full leather or not, and even then, you'd probably if you found a car with a low miles and the right color, then you'd probably be fine with it. I would want one with carbon ceramics
and buckets.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to drive it across country or something. Then
yeah. I mean, but even then, you can sit in buckets cross country. The only disadvantage of the buckets is getting in and out.
Yeah.
But fitting in them is fine, And you could buy some tilt. Like I have some of the little tilty little angle things, little angle kit. You buy an angle kit and you put it in between the bolt. So anyway. Ivan was asking, why don't you try Hilti cordless tools? They're just not very popular here. That's the only reason why I haven't really tested them or played with them. All right, where were we here? We're kind of working our way down. We talked about the GT4. Considering, GT4 is a very nice Porsche. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Matt, new style video looks epic. Keep up the good work. Yeah, we're trying some new things. You met Michael Waba, who we hired to be a cinematographer, and so we're trying to figure out how to light it, how to stage it, because he's so used to being on set with a production board, and he's got a runners, and and so he's operating the camera, and so he's having to do all those jobs, which is exciting for him, exciting for all of us. And so that Bryce is up to his eyeballs in content creation and running the the department, and and Mike is executing on all the tasks of when he bottle labels and new product and fix this in inventory and order the I'm running these guys hard, and so having Michael to come and set it up, and what I want is I want to maintain the same message, the same essence, the same stuff, but have it more palatable.
Right.
And if the video needs to be 50 minutes long, it's 50 minutes long. If it needs to be 15, it's 15. But to have transitions, have better B-rolls, have better angles, have better lighting, and it's going to take us a little time to get there. But I appreciate you noticing that. It's a lot of you're learning this. It's a lot of effort. You start with your own camera in the middle of all the stuff you're doing. So remember when I started, I wasn't polishing cars for a living, but I had a job. Yeah. And a really demanding job, and a lot of responsibility, and yet if you love it, you do it.
Yep.
And chase it.
Yeah, I started with when I decided I was going to do the whole YouTube thing, I'd been putting it off for years. You've been trying to get me to do this for a long time. I just picked up one of the Canon G7 point and shoots.
Yep.
And I was like, it's going to be fine. And then
the G7X is hard for you to set on a tripod and be far away from.
Yeah.
It's fine if you're holding it in your face, but you're having to set it up a lot.
Yeah, and it's not like, I don't know, I guess I'm picky. I want the nicer stuff. I want the better image quality and the adjustability of the camera.
Yep.
So after like 3 videos, it was like a month, and we've already outgrown it. And the Canon G7 won't do. If you turn it on in 4K, it literally overheats by turning it on. In like a minute. So we'd have to like set up a shot and then wait, and then so it's slowing us down. So I was like, I'm over this. So I just went.
So Billy's channel again is Presidential Automotive Detail.
Yeah.
Not Ing.
Might be Ing. I can't remember.
Just start typing in Presidential Automotive Detail.
There is one other one out there, but you'll know which one's the right one.
Yeah. It'll be black with white.
Yeah,
clean.
White and black.
Let's see. M5 is making up for the Corvette losses. Yes, it is. I kind of figured it would. That's why I decided to do it. Dig the quality. Thank you, sir. Did you see what happened to Adam's lady friend? Burned the GT350 down.
It wasn't her fault.
It wasn't. No, that's a GT350 thing. And Adam sent me that before the video, so I knew what happened. That's a common possibility in that car. The gaskets break and then it sprays oil all over, catches fire, and melted down. So so now he's gonna do something crazy with it. So I think Ford compensated him, and then he asked if he could just keep the car, buy the car from him, and he's gonna do something ridiculous if the frame isn't melted. Hey Billy, Matt, hope all is well. Do you use a paint depth gauge, and if you do, which one do you recommend? Manufacturers are starting to get cheap with paint and clear.
I don't really use them a whole lot. I have one, but I mean, you could put it in the one spot and then put it in that same spot, and it gives you a totally different reading.
I didn't tell him to say that.
At least enough of a different reading where it doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, you can get an idea, and you can know if a panel's been repainted. But personally, no, I don't. I just kind of, after polishing hundreds and hundreds of cars, thousands of cars, I guess, probably, I just kind of know my gut. When my gut starts feeling bad, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
How many cars have you burned through?
I mean, I've burned a handful.
Yeah.
But I've polished thousands of cars, so I mean,
Right.
but we have a really amazing painter, right, like a block away from us. We found him about maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had Adam LZ, his trunk on his GT3 got damaged somehow, and we were able to fix that for him, and it looks like it never happened. But yeah, so if anything ever happens, we take care of it. So, obviously, you feel terrible when something like that happens, but
right,
it's part of the game, And luckily, most of the time we don't have issues. But
thanks, Fishing CMH, $14.99. Looks like it doesn't have a question. Thanks for the super chat. Let's see. So yeah, paint depth gauges. I'm gonna dig into them one day for the fun of it. And I'm gonna do like the whole DeFalco line and maybe get a couple of others. I mean, I don't think that it makes much sense to buy like a really inaccurate, Amazon level gauge. So gloss meters, paint depth gauges really interest me, really intrigue me. And then every time I go to use one, it sterilizes me for like another 8 or 9 months and say, well, this is ridiculous. It doesn't freaking do anything. Yeah, you're like, so the idea is to get an average, and so you would take, like 100 readings and then take an average of a panel. But even then, the DeFalco that gives you the three levels, but it's not perfect. It's a baseline. It's an idea. It's to tell you if something was repainted or not.
If you're gonna burn something, it's generally gonna be on an edge or a body line.
That you can't measure.
Yeah.
What's up, guys from Orlando? Cool. Yeah, we're Billy's from Tampa, and I'm here just north of Orlando. Let's see. My company has employed several people in the U.S. from Germany without even considering other people for the role, so I don't believe it would be all that difficult. I think you're probably right. But we're also talking a lot of times about, I'm talking about hiring people that just love the channel and want to get to the U.S. I like the idea that I could kind of change somebody's life and give them, and I know that they would work harder likely than somebody who maybe doesn't appreciate it as much. I'm just looking for really passionate people, and I appreciate all of you who have applied. We knew we had this project last night. I've been running too hard for too long. And facility soon here. Let's see. But thanks for that input. Thoughts on the new Lake Country polisher that can be adjusted from rotary to 8 to 15 to 21 millimeter throws?
I'm curious about it, but I'm not. We'll see. I don't know.
It shows you when you pick up that machine. And I love the guys at Lake Country. They're great people. David Patterson's has a lot to do with this. Good friend of. I think you know David, a good friend of mine. He's a Honda boy too. Yep. So, I just you can see where the balance and all of the work that Rupes and Flex have done over the years to make their machines balanced. So that machine is going to take, I think, several iterations to make it viable for me. It's really loud and really heavy and really unbalanced.
Have you played with one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the final, but the second to final prototype.
How quickly does it take to adjust it?
It's pretty easy. I mean, there's a procedure you'd have to kind of become acquainted with.
Yeah.
Like it has to line up properly. It's a really nice quality, like anodized.
No tools like wrenches or anything?
No, you just have to line things up properly. So you have to line the gear set up properly, so then you have to, in order to get it to lock into place, you have to do a couple of things, but you'd have it figured out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just, in order to fit all that in there, it's really tall, which I think is fine, which adds some weight to it. But it also, the bigger thing, the thing I don't love about it is the balance. You can feel the weight, pulling away from you, pulling against you. So
I'm curious to try one, though.
Yeah, I'll get one. They didn't send one to me, so I must not be worthy. Rapid remover works great.
Maybe you wouldn't like it.
yeah. I'm always a wild card. Do have any of you guys tried or use C2V3? What do you think of it?
Yeah, we've used quite a bit of it. It's great if you can put it on right, but I find I generally don't like give it to my customers if I know they're not like a car person. Because if you just slap it on the car and wipe it around and don't really wipe it out, you'll just leave a bunch of streaks on the car. And it's not the easiest thing to just remove. You can't just wipe them away. But it is a great, it's a great product other than that.
So you have tried Bead Maker, and I'm not stupid, am I?
Yeah.
I'm not an
I
idiot.
put it off for the longest time. I was like, I'm not buying this stuff. Yeah. And then we went and we actually went to work on Foster's collection of cars.
And
here.
He had some, yeah.
He had it on all of his cars.
Yeah.
And we had already coated his cars.
Yeah.
So we were coming back to do like a maintenance, but he likes to get out there and wash them himself.
Yeah.
But he had I think P-Car Talk was coming up to drive all his cars, and he wanted us to wash his whole fleet there. So as soon as we washed them, we were like, what's going on here? This doesn't look, like normal. So I asked him.
Old Matty knows what he's talking about.
And ever since then, we ended up buying some, and now we use it a lot.
Juice Z, thanks for the $10, $9.99. Started a mobile detailing / wash business. No experience, just wash my car obsessively. Should I offer polish compound from the get go, or wait for experience and the right clientele? Thank you.
It's tough because you got to start somewhere, but I wouldn't, like when I started, I just did my own car. That was rotary only back then, so I was taping off little squares all over my hood. I probably wrecked it from all the different levels that I was polishing it down, but so I taught myself with my own car, and then I did a friend's car. I think I had like 2 friends that had invested like $50 with me to buy like the polishes and everything. I learned on my car, and then I did their cars, and once I wouldn't say I was good at all, but I was good enough to make a difference in their paint. So, and then it just kind of spiraled and
have you priced accordingly over the years?
Yeah. So,
did you ever get to a point where you thought you were overpriced? Like you were charging, I hate that term, overpriced. You were charging more than you thought you were worth?
No.
Or have you always been under what you thought you were worth?
Even now, I still feel I'm at the top of the tier as far as like competition and everything goes on the market, but I still think we're underpriced, but it works for us. So,
yeah.
But yeah, when I was just starting out, I was definitely not making money doing it. So.
Yeah, you're charging $200 and spending a whole
2
weekend.
Days or 3 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I went back and got a full-time job, and then that kind of allowed me to go back to just doing cars as they came. And then once I started doing a car every weekend on top of my full-time job, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So then I just literally doubled my prices overnight and never even slowed down. Because I already had a couple of years under my belt at least by then.
Yeah.
And already kind of a name through the forums and everything. So I didn't just like, I'm going to be twice as expensive now. I was just behind the curve of bringing my pricing up. So
were you very honest in the beginning, like with people like of your skill level, or were you trying to put on a front that you were like the pro's pro? How did you manage that ascent, if you will, from an experience perspective?
There really wasn't a market when I started. All the detailing shops, and with Instagram and everything, there's like detailing shops everywhere now. But when I started, there really wasn't. Like Todd Helm was the hot shot. Like he was
Todd
the guy
works for Rupes now. He's
I looked up to his write-ups and everything. He was, there was just those kind of guys. That was really it. There was a couple guys on the forums. I remember on like the Beamer forums, there was a guy on there. I can't remember his name now. F- I think was his name. And he posted some awesome stuff, and that's actually how I learned, because they would post their whole process and then post every product that they used.
Yep.
And I just mimicked that. I took that list and I bought it and I started using it.
Yeah.
Phil at Detailer's Domain, I would call him up and ask him about polishing tips with the Rotary.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't really, it's not like today. It's like anybody can just say they're a detailer today, but back then, like paint correction was like,
wasn't even a word.
Yeah,
right?
It wasn't a thing.
It was
really.
like, I'm gonna make.
So
your
like
car
my
look better.
first like few cars, I was already at the top, so like from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I've just perfected the craft from there.
So it's a little bit more. I think that would be the key.
Detailer. I started as a paint guy.
Yeah.
Like, paint correction was always my passion, That's where I always dedicated to.
So you're not
like I don't do interior. I didn't do all the crazy van interiors and stuff like that. I didn't like that, so I stayed away from it.
You don't do that now, do you? Like you
No,
would clean up like my interior if you didn't vacuum
and we can do an interior, but it's not something
You're not doing leather restoration and stuff like that.
Not on like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have like an extractor or anything like that. I won't buy one because I don't want to use it.
Mark Bryan, autographed Camry rendering, please. Thanks, Maddie. I'm working on it. I'm not working on it, but Bryce is working on it. I said we were going to do it, so we're going to do it. Let's see. What do you think? I've kind of learned this from you and from Todd Cooperrider and a few others about using the flagship coating on the trim. I was always chasing like that elusive, perfect trim coating, and I was missing out. And I just used the freaking coating on the trim because all the trim coatings are inferior, wouldn't you say? I mean, all the ones I've tried don't do as well as the gosh darn regular coating.
Yeah, I figured that out actually on a Corvette Z06 because on that front flare they have the plastic piece that sticks out.
Oh yeah.
And naturally, when you're kind of new to coatings, you'll get a piece of the coating on the trim there. So I just coated the whole thing to blend it in.
Yeah.
And then I went to actually wash that car like a year later, and when I washed the car, the trim was beating up just like the paint was, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep doing that then. And it's it's easier. Like I hate like coating trim separately because it's always gonna overlap onto either your glass or your paint. It's gonna be some sort of, you're going backwards a little bit. And if you're coating the car already, I could see if you had like a car that's waxed or that doesn't have anything, you're just trying to make the trim black again or something, then you can do some specialized trim stuff like solution finish or something like that. But
let's see. Fishing CMH says, any recommendations on a polish for a bass boat gel coat? This is a newer boat, white color, but has very minor scratches in the clear, maybe the gel coat, from climbing over the boat. Use a rotary or by hand. Rotary on a boat for sure.
Rotary is generally best on.
Yeah, I mean
you can use the DAs too. I don't do a lot of boats, but generally rotary is.
From all the boat guys that
I
know of, that's a tough gig, man. Yeah. You've got a rotary, high speed, high heat,
weird angles, upside down, sideways.
Yep.
It's not for me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think you'd want a rotary, probably wool pad, and hammer down.
Yeah. You generally have to go pretty hard
because gel coat is a lot thicker,
and it might have changed since I've done anything with boats. The newer boats might be a little different. I don't know.
Let's see. Have you tried XPEL's 4-year coating? We talked about that in the video. You said you liked it.
Fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used Fusion a couple of times. It was pretty good. I don't mind it at all. I like the G-Tech line still. Halo's pretty awesome to work with.
Yeah.
I actually prefer using Serum Ultra and Exo, but
if you can get it if you're confident it's
if we're using XPEL film, like even Suntech film when they did they like updated their film to have a coating on it.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't do it anymore because it would same thing as like I think we would have an issue with the S-Tech film with their hydrophobic coating layers or whatever they put on them.
ST's asking, join late. Sorry if I missed if it's already been asked. Is the OG Smokies trip a no-go? I think it's a no-go. The restaurants aren't open and it's only a couple of weeks away, so I don't think I'm going to go. So, I mean, I know some of the guys might just go up there that are closer. It's such a huge ordeal for me to get there that I think Shane and I kind of talked about it. So I think I'm out. Let's see. I'm late asking about the M5 giveaway. It's going well. We will be giving the car away on Saturday. I think I'll probably just pull the car over here, and Bryce and I'll ask him if he can run over on Saturday. We'll do a live stream and generate the number and pick somebody. And Gabe works for Billy's, hoping it's him. So
yeah, he's buying a bunch of stuff while we're here.
He's in there, right? Getting his entries up. Let's see. Love your video quality. Thanks. Does you or your guest have any experience with Ceramic Pro coatings?
I've used Ceramic Pro. I I personally don't like it. I can't stand the smell. Like when you open up a bottle of that stuff in a shop, I mean, it literally takes your breath away. I think it's probably a good coating. It just kind of goes back to what we were saying before. It doesn't fit into my business model as far as all the layering and everything they want you to do.
Yeah,
and the
their
weighting.
style is a little different, and you're not a warranty guy, right?
Yeah, no. And, the marketing thing is
yeah,
not-
I mean,
not
you're
my deal.
warranting something that's not really warranted. You have to fix it.
Yeah, there's
And then
warranties on coatings are
It's kind of dumb,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, so, I mean, technically, do they pay you? Do you make a claim? But then aren't they
They're
going to put it
supposed
back
to,
on
but-
you that that the coating failed? I mean,
I've honestly never even filed a claim through any of the companies
Yeah.
I've worked with. We just fix it. Yeah, obviously, to an extent. I mean, sometimes the customers do some dumb stuff with their cars, but if it's something that's we could tell is not their fault, then we'll fix it. No problem.
ETA for Cobra Jet storage plugs, man. It is incredible the amount of sales. I'm so thankful. You guys are freaking awesome. I mean, we're at 39,057 today, 174 orders. We're just boomeranging stuff in here and out. I'm hoping, I'm going to have to respond. This is why I have to get people in here, and we have to get more stuff. Thanks, Bryce, for deleting this douche that came in here and started putting some. Let's see, what was his deleted message? Let's see, something about, it's probably that same guy I was telling you about who makes all kinds of fake profiles, and it of course would be too scared to come and meet me in person. We know how that would go. Can a ceramic coated car be decontaminated without using clay bar, clay mitt? Ferric's only good enough. So let's talk about that a little bit. So we talk about coating refresh all the time. I'm of the camp that as soon as you start mechanically abrading the surface, that you can do it, but it's never, you're going to start to beat it up, and it's not going to look as clear, and as might end up with some scratches and some marring. And doing an iron removal, I mean, we don't have a huge iron issue in Florida or most areas of the country.
No,
So-
most of the time you would see that on like a sports car though, brake dust and
and
the exhaust
from the track.
Yeah.
So how often do you do like coating refreshes and that, or would you rather just strip it off and start over?
It depends on the car. So like we do offer like a coating refresh. So we kind of tell the customer if they want it to be like, the day we gave it to them, usually about a year. We'll just do like a quick wash, iron decon, no clay bar or anything like that.
Right.
And then we'll just do like I guess it depends, but we'll do like a really, really light polish, kind of just buzzing over it just to get the kind of the grime off the car just from the soaps and whatever is sitting on it.
So it's almost like because if you clay it, then you really got to start to polish it, right?
Yeah. Especially if it's a black car, then I try
So you're
to
just
stay away.
gumming up your pad, just pulling that top layer of like XO off, and then you're slapping another coat of XO.
XO back on, yeah.
As long as you can get it decontaminated enough. So if you can still feel crunchies, you probably don't want to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of case by case, but generally, if the car's good, you don't really have to do anything to it. If it's a garage kept car that you really take care of and wash.
Yeah.
The coating will last. I just had a 2015 RS5 come through the shop that we did 5 years ago, or not 5 years, but in 2015. I guess it is. And it was like brand new. So it kind of just shows, if you really take care of your cars, you can make a coating really last you a long time. But on the other hand, you have, you can kill a coating within a few months if you just, spray it down with well water and things like that.
Yeah.
We have all the time. We have people like, oh, it was dirty, so I just hosed it down and let it dry, like with the well water, and you're just like, well,
sorry about your luck. Yeah.
Got to redo it.
Let's see. Nissan 08 Nissan Titan with clear coat failure, coming off in sheets. Needs a repaint to do it right, but not worth the money.
I think it's a factory issue. Pretty common on those, actually.
Is 2K clear or a ceramic coating the next best option? Well, ceramic coating isn't going to work.
No.
You
basically have to sand it and re-clear
it. But 2K clear would be a a rattle can, a spray can clear coat kind of thing. So yeah, the other thing you could consider is that Optimum stuff that they have. They have an actual like wipe on clear coat now.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, check that stuff out. It's not going to look great, but it'll look like something.
It's interesting. I wonder if that would work for like maybe a touch-up job or.
Yeah, it's designed for like cars that are really beat up, and I forget what it's called. But Optimum, created it where you just take it and you kind of put it on like a coating almost. It's a real thick, and I thought it would be something interesting to like fill the little failed spot on the trunk of my M3, but it's really for like a beat up old car like what he's talking about. Hilti is still independent. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I buy Hilti concrete anchors. Let's see. Did you hear about McLaren recall? The Senna 720S are recalling total around 2,800 cars. No, not really a McLaren guy. Adams Swirl Killer Pro versus G9. I picked up an Adams 15 millimeter and a Mini. I want something to hold me over until I can get a Rupes. How do you feel about Adams versus a G9? I would do that G9. I love Adams. I'm an Adams super fan, but I don't like their machines. They're Chinese knockoffs of the Rupes. At least Griot's is giving it a shot, and trying to make something different.
The Griot stuff's pretty decent for the weekend. I like their stuff.
What does Billy use as a drying aid when a car has coated previously, returns to his shop for a wash?
We either use G-Technic Quick Detailer, or if we want to add some boost to it, we'll use B-Maker.
Got it. Let's see. Can a ceramic coated car be decontaminated without using a clay? We already answered that question. Let's see. Matt, did you get a chance to try the PXE80? We didn't get it yet, so
Is that the little one?
Yeah, the one we were talking about, the little 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch thing.
We had that one to try.
Yeah, not yet. Rupes Nano hybrid versus new flex battery 3-inch. That's the same question. We both have the same question you have. I'm waiting for it. I ordered it. I'm just kind of waiting. I know you've mentioned it before, but what is the issue with the 991.1 GT3 RS? Any reason to hold off getting a 991.2 aside from different exterior parts? So, .1 cars, so 2014 through 2016 911s have a E, F, or G series engine, right? So it's a 9A1 variant. So the engine in the .1 cars is just it's like a souped up Carrera engine. It's the same block that they Hesger engine. It was like a special bespoke engine from built from scratch. And so the 991.2, I believe it's still a 9A1. I think it still starts with 9A1, the serial numbers, but it's derived from the RSR car, the actual race car, the cup car and the RSR car. So the .1 cars have a finger follower and cam lobe issue. On the E series, the first versions of the cars, they would have issues with oiling on certain cylinders. I think the further away from from where the oil pump was. I'm speaking out of turn here, but I'm just regurgitating what Jamie from Dundon has kind of taught me about this issue. And so the early cars, ones that were really beat up and ragged out on the track, the E series, so the 2014s and very early 2015s, didn't have any DLC coating or anything on the finger followers and the cam lobes, so they'd have they'd have a wear, or they have wear. But Porsche said, look, I mean, on the rare occasion that we have a blown engine, they stepped up. There was a meeting with a bunch of owners, an owner group. I was invited to it. I just didn't go because I had gotten rid of my car by then. But the owners group had met with Porsche, Germany and Porsche North America, and they kind of got together. Porsche stepped up after that meeting and said, look, we're going to warranty all the 2014s for 100,000 miles. They're basically saying, look, we understand that the engine's not damaged enough where we're just going to throw all these engines away.
Right.
We're confident
just
in
wait
the
for
engine.
It to break
and in the rare instances, the small percentage of them that are going to break for guys who are riding around at 8,000 RPMs for 2 hours straight, then they blow an engine, then we'll replace it. And they've stepped up. I have had several friends. If there was any kind of tick, actually my blue one, my 2014, Jared got a new engine. And so, because they took it to the dealer and said, look, they're making this little ticking noise. It just said, new engine.
Wow.
And so Porsche is standing behind it, hardcore, ironclad. And so as you go up the line, E, then so the E's would be the cars you'll get the best deal on, but they also have the best warranty. And F and G, I don't think that they've stepped up and added the 100,000 more mile warranties to the 15s and 16s. But the .1s ended in 2016, and so I don't think there's any problem with getting them. I don't know of any problems other than this finger follower wear issue. The E series I think got DLC coded, and then the F, which was my 991.1 GT3 RS, I believe had a different size oil filter, so they added capacity a little bit, and so I wouldn't worry about it at all. So that's your lesson on finger followers for .1, .2 GT3.
Sure,
now .2s have a dry sump, I believe. I'm speaking out of turn, but completely different engine, redesigned. Let's see. We talked about gel coat. Can we block this guy? Yeah, we blocked him. When can I join your team? Charlie Barge. Email careers@obsessgarage.com. I need to hire people immediately. Any plans to go Cox garden hose reel and vacuum hose reels? Vacuum hose reels, yes. I've got to get the kit just to convert it because I talked to Cox. It's not really viable for us to get a super legit garden hose reels. Have you ever thought about expanding to California? No. Certainly not after this pandemic. There will be no California in my life ever. But we may have distribution, countrywide in the future, but I don't have any plans for that yet. But who knows? I'm going to win the OGS SI and have Billy maintain it. You down for that?
That's Ozzy.
Yeah.
Yes, I get to keep it, though.
Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, this went too far. Make sure in the super chats. Let's just kind of go to the back here. I'll be first on the list for vacuum hose reel. Let's see. Can you elaborate on your process Can you elaborate on the process you use to remove water spots in your M3? And how would you do it if you didn't have an IR lamp? So remember, I've talked to you about this. Water spots are a fickle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes they go away and they come back.
Sometimes it looks easy.
Sometimes they don't come back. Yeah. Sometimes they do come back. And so what I'm going to do, so I hammered down on it to get them out of there, and they came back. Yeah. They didn't come back inside. The car sat inside for a week.
Yeah, it has to go in the sun and evaporate.
It went out in the sun, yep.
Yeah.
And then the swell, then it sat in the wash bay for a couple of days, and the paint swell went down from all my polishing, and then they all came back.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, are they sitting on the surface when they came back? Because I took the hood and I did polish half of it, heating it, the other half not. And neither one of them, the spots came back. It's like, what the fuck am I going to do?
I think it just takes a couple rounds.
It might.
Yeah.
Of swelling in, and.
Because you're basically just opening up the pores in the paint.
So I have the IR lamp to like heat it evenly, and but I may not need to heat it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to can coat the car, because I want to play with can coat,
mm-hmm.
and that way I'm not have something permanent. So if they do come back, then I can just strip that off and start over. Although I don't think can coat's all that easy to get off, but easier than a regular coating. Let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, we got time. You got time?
I got time.
I like answering questions. I think it's fun. Chris always cuts me off early. Hello, everyone. Hello, John. Matt, love what you do. When is our Rupes order coming in? Yeah, I'm waiting. The Rupes we keep selling out. I think they've finally gone back to work.
Yeah, I think on the 11th.
UPS deleted my delivery. For my Prolock cords. I know. I keep getting that all the time too. Everything keeps getting delayed, and it takes extra days, and the companies aren't shipping. And yeah, we talked about Adam's thing. Which MacBook to buy for starting photo and video editing? MacBook Pro. Get as much RAM as you can get, as you can afford,
and a video card.
Yeah. Choose the best video card option.
It's just
you have it.
Solution we have right now. Yeah, I don't like how stiff the hose is. I'd rather have something like.
You need an ego blower. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Let's see. What about TriClean? You use that at all? G-Technic i2 TriClean.
It's fantastic.
Is it?
It's really good.
For what?
Anything interior. So it's great at cleaning leather, door panels, anything like that. Even the suede on steering wheels.
I punted the bottle in the trash. They keep sending it to me. I keep throwing it away.
You gotta use it, man.
Is it?
It's good.
Kinkus Slink hose. Ooh, $50. What's this? Yoshi. There's my boy. Can y'all address the issues with cleaning matte TE37s or other matte Volks, and how certain wheel cleaners stain the finish? It's only an issue with only the matte bronze or other matte colors also. Yeah. Is it only an issue with those? Also TE37 SLs over Sagas, Cough, Dallas Queen.
You pretty much just got to do like soap and water on those things.
Really? Well, good thing you guys told me that. I was about to ruin mine. What if I coat them?
I thought you had seen it. I posted on somewhere on your page or something that.
I'm too famous, Billy. I can't keep up with it all.
I thought my comments go to the top though, and you just read them.
I don't know. I must have missed it. Usually, I'll give up on a post after a little while.
They're extremely finicky.
Oh shoot!
Super.
The matte ones.
The bronze mostly is the bronze is the ones people have trouble with.
So what if I coat it? It should be fine.
You can coat them. Same thing, with your satin wheels. You got to be really careful not to have high spots, but. You won't have issues with coating them more than you do with like cleaning chemicals to try to clean them when they're on the car. I mean they're tough. I mean there's so many stories of people ruining the finish on those, and it's super easy. It doesn't take much at all, and basically you have to repowder coat them.
Crap! I didn't know. I should pay you, Yoshi, for that $50 because I didn't have a clue. I would have found out later.
Yeah, when you spray some weird wheel cleaner on.
Yeah, yeah. Like just let it rip.
You probably won't wash them.
Yeah, I won't have it long enough to wash it. I'll be doing O&R on it. Matt, you sending back your 32-inch new monitor? I am not. I decided to keep it. I've grown to love it. And once I got rid of the ground loop, it was fine. And I realized I was nitpicking the anti-glare screen. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But when you sit back and actually use the computer as intended, it's pretty good. And I really need that anti-glare for the garage. Let's see. So I would like to put a decent coating on his truck. So there was early comment. Matt, I have an 05 F-150 in the Midwest. Never sees winter. So it must be like his truck that he likes. So I would like to put a decent coating on it, or probably just wax. Not a showed truck. What would you suggest? I do CSL XO.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yep. Let's see. What is the long-term durability quality been on G-Technic based on your experience? It's good. Couple of years, right? I mean.
Yeah, like I said, it's all really dependent on the person maintaining the car. Yeah. It can go many years.
Yeah.
Can also be killed pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. So. Let's see. What time are you live chatting to? I don't know. I haven't decided when I'm going to do the live stream for the M5. I'll figure it out. Oh, that's tomorrow, isn't it? Saturday's tomorrow.
Saturday.
Oh, crap. My life is flying by.
You thought it was over when we left.
Yeah. What would you guys say would be a top 10 washing and drying must-haves? That's a really long answer. What you should do is just go to obsessgarage.com, click on car washing, buy everything, click on wheels and tires, buy everything, and that's what you need. And click on microfiber and buy everything. Or if you're Billy, buy just Pluffles.
Pluffles, that's all you need.
Yeah.
But I can't say that too much because then I won't be able to buy them.
Yeah, they'll run out. Let's see, Matt, where did you let out with the Max setup? Is it a keeper? Yes. Yeah, I'm keeping it, and I've got to get a microphone and get it all set up. So I'll be having it done. Oh, we're almost at the bottom here, so we'll catch up here. Optimum Clear Coat Restorer. That's what it's called. Check it out.
Yeah.
Great podcast, guys. Quick question about wheel cleaners. I know you have transitioned from Adams to P&S as it removes a product. Have you had a chance to try the new Adams wheel and tire cleaner? I haven't, but I think it's very similar to, the P&S stuff. From what people said, it's a little stronger, which I don't feel the need for stronger. I already talked about the M3 water spots. I'm having trouble with bead maker on my black cars. It streaks and spots. What's he doing wrong? Is it sun?
Maybe that's what I was thinking. Is heat.
Heat and sun,
yeah.
Or not wiping it off completely.
Yeah,
or your towels
are forgiving though with that. So
yeah,
like my EF before we came up here, I just wiped it down literally in 5 minutes. Went around the whole car, and just kind of haphazardly just wiping it on and
Yeah.
It looked fine. So it's pretty forgiving with that. But yeah, if it's too hot or if you're outside doing it, maybe it's hard to say. But do it in the garage if you can.
Yeah, and it probably is. Black is so difficult to deal with as it is, but you shouldn't be having up. There's something wrong.
Be thorough in your wiping, I guess.
Yeah, either your towels are loaded up and they're no longer working,
or you're not using a pluffle.
Don't use a pluffle. You want to use the orange one. Discriminating against Californians. I love Californians. I just don't like California. I just couldn't live there. It'd drive me crazy. It'd be nuts.
Too locked down.
Yeah.
It's like the Wild Wild West out here compared to there.
Yeah, we just do whatever we want. We're free. It's America. Can you elaborate on the PF22 disconnect and if the design will ever change? Well, yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, this is our first go at it. It's freaking cool. It's a lot of money, but it's cool. It works well. I think it's going to hold up well. So anyway, when are you selling your M3? I'll make an offer. I'd sell it. If someone gives you $100,000, I'd sell it right now. But otherwise, I'm going to keep it. When are you putting the shifters in the Civic? Probably early next week. Let's see. Have you thought about an encoder like a Teradek Video Go and camera for good camera for Video Go and a camera for live streaming instead of using an iPhone? We're not using an iPhone with this. It's just I throw the iPhone up real quickly. That always
is this another? Problems. Is that a C200?
Yeah, it's a C200. Yeah, I only have one of them. Billy is a top guest on the podcast. It would be great for him to pop in more often. You down for that?
I should. I'm close enough.
How's Billy liking his new camera setup?
I love it. It's still a lot to learn.
EOS R.
Yeah.
And what lens?
I got the Sigma 14-24 lens.
It's good. Good focal length. We're about here.
Awesome.
Have you ever used Soft 99?
No.
I haven't either.
What is that?
It's a wax.
No. I haven't used a wax in
TriClean is sold out because of the microban. Yeah, true. I'm sure I could get some. Everyone joined Obsessed Garage Discord, so I'm not talking to myself. Let's see. America, yes. All of my cars have bead maker. Here in Florida, humidity can be a factor as well as not using clean rags. Inside is best. True. Yeah. Update on Twin Bush. I think I'm done. I'm getting very close to finalizing the lifts with Nussbaum. Unless Twin Bush decides to raise their price or give me a better deal, I'm out. So, peace out. Scott Smith, if an X3M competition magically appeared at OGHQ, would you give it a fair try? Probably not. Yeah, I would. Sean has one. I drove it. It's good, but it's a soccer mom's car on stilts. Sorry, Scott. You're you bought a soccer mom car. Let's see. Are you going to take your son to see Brady play in Tampa? Yeah, probably. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. I've emailed. Let's push your packaging to the next level. Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Matt and Billy from Montreal, Canada. Cool. How about quick disconnect garden hose plugs for the MTM garden hose QDs? Oh, yeah. They're coming. He's talking about the PP plug for the garden hose. We should have that soon. When will you release the tire shine? Next week. Is polishing an ND Miata safe, and how little paint is actually on a new car? Yeah, you could definitely polish a Miata.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Polishes don't take a whole lot of polish off or paint off the car in general.
Billy's channel is Presidential Automotive Detailing or Detail, one or the other.
I'm pretty sure it's detailing.
Okay. Tell Billy a Hex Plus membership would have saved him a lot of money by now. He doesn't need it. Now he's an affiliate.
Yeah.
So now he gets affiliates, influencer affiliates get cost plus 10 on everything. I decided to implement that. It's the same thing that moderators get and employees get. I got that from my old days back in home theater. We got 10 up.
Mm-hmm.
20 up for friends and family, 10 up for employees. And so, I don't know. It always made me buy all kinds of stuff. That's about it. Have you ever tried American Detailer Garage F-Bomb?
No.
Me neither.
I don't try a whole lot of different stuff. anymore.
Yeah, you end up waiting for me to fall on the sword for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are you going to do Halo on your GT3, or are you doing that on your wheels too? No, we did Crystal Serum. Well, I did Crystal Serum Ultra and 2 coats of XO. Yeah. Is Billy entering the giveaway?
Nope.
No, he's not. He doesn't want a stinky M5. Let's see. Last question. Hey, Billy, I've been watching your videos lately and love your vision for what you do on the daily. I'm a small business owner here in Orlando. Just wondering if we can talk.
Sure. Send an email. Or message me on Facebook or Instagram or
All right,
whatever.
stop asking questions, people. How many subscriptions don't send you an entry verification email? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so that's a wrap, people. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the questions. I got to close this, otherwise I'm gonna looking at more questions.
I'll read them to you out loud.
But yeah, thanks for doing this.
Yeah,
thanks
that was
for
awesome.
taking care of my car.
First podcast.
I haven't heard it start up, so it may not have left yet. But the car's gonna be leaving here any moment on a trailer down to Billy's shop. He's gonna have to beat it there so we can capture it on camera. Make sure to go check out Billy's channel. Watch the rest of the series or other videos of your other stuff that you're sharing, some of the stuff that's already up there of your process and how you guys take care of cars.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll learn
Appreciate
something. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let's catch you next week, and live stream tomorrow, let's say at like noon. Let's get it out of the way. Old hat now. This is my 3rd giveaway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm thirsty. Too much talking.